So welcome. Welcome if you're tuning in on the YouTube live stream at the moment, and welcome to a few of us who are here tonight in person. My name is Charlotte, and I'm one of the teachers on the Monday night Brixton Monday night meditation teaching team. Particularly warm welcome to you if you're here for the first time, tuning in via YouTube for the first time. We've got a live chat function, so if you are online, it'd be great to know who you are and where you're tuning in from. Also good to know, if it's your first time tuning in, that'd be lovely to know. And yes, we're still doing these kind of hybrid classes, still in the process of working out our systems, and so we're not sort of quite open fully yet for people to kind of register and come in. We've got a few friends here tonight while we're just kind of still playing around and getting used to all the new systems. So when we are able to invite you in, we'll let you know. We'll make that clear on our newsletters and things. So do go onto the website and subscribe for our newsletter. That'd be helpful, so then you can know when we do start opening up to more people coming in. We've been having a good look at the new rules with the new rule of 6, and from what we understand, we are good to go ahead with having some more people in, even with that in place, as long as we're COVID secure. So do sign up for the newsletter, and we can let you know what's going on with kind of welcoming a few more people in and how to do that later on. Let's get started with tonight's session. We've been having a few weeks looking at the practice called metta. So it's a loving kindness meditation practice, one of the core practices that we do here. And tonight's theme is called Radiate Love. My energy is a bit lower today. It's not had the easiest day, so hopefully we'll be covering some good material which will help us kind of draw on resources beyond ourselves when we need it. So it's feeling particularly relevant for me today as well. We're joined again by a lovely fly. We had a fly last week. I'm guessing it's not the same one. It's gone to make friends with Cheryl. It's not being very socially distant, but hey ho. I might become a feature of the classes as well.
It's a charge it money.
Yeah, it's not wearing a mask. So what we'll do is we're just going to have do a short meditation practice that's helping us become more aware of our bodies, more aware of our mental states, our emotional states, just to kind of help us land, help arrive, transition from whatever we've been up to today. Yeah. So I'll lead us in that now, and we'll sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. So just get comfortable in whatever posture will support you for that period of time. So you can be sat down, led down on a chair, whatever you need at home. It's nice to be in here because we've got these lovely cushions and mats. And when you're ready, closing your eyes. Just helps reduce the extra kind of stimulation coming in through the visual sense. Just becoming aware of what does it feel like to start to turn inwards. We spend so much of our time out in the world. What does it feel like to turn that gaze of awareness inwards a bit more? Might feel a bit strange, unfamiliar. Might feel a bit of a relief. And just take a couple of deeper breaths in and out. Just allowing the out breath just to extend and elongate a little bit more. So become slightly longer in length than the in breath. Just helping communicate to our nervous system, to our minds, that we can just start to calm down a little bit. Just noticing where you can feel your breath most in the body right now. You might find that's quite high up around the throat and the shoulders. Or it might be further down in the belly. What you might want to do is just place one hand on your chest area and one hand on the stomach, on the abdomen, belly, perhaps just below the belly button. Just see if we can notice now how much the belly rises and falls with the in-breath and the out-breath. So when we're quite relaxed and at ease, we'll find that the belly tends to move with the breath as well. We tend to have a deeper breath that moves further down into the body. If we're a bit tense, a bit stressed, even if we're not aware of it, we tend to restrict the breath. And it will tighten around the chest and the shoulders. What we can do is just to help, again, find a bit more ease in the body, help us to settle. We can take a few more conscious breaths. And really allow the belly to expand on the in-breath. And relax on the out-breath. So just noticing now whether or not your hand on your belly is moving with the breath or not. Whatever your breath is doing, that's fine. We'll stop trying to change it at all and just start following whatever rhythm it wants to take. And just explore now where you can feel that in the body. Perhaps bringing your awareness to the back of the body as well, and the sides. Noticing how the rest of the rib cage expands and contracts. Now allowing our awareness to drop further down to the bottom half of our body. So feeling the weight of our torso dropping down into the cushion, into the chair, into our sitting bones, the buttocks and the legs. Just exploring any sensations where your body comes into contact with the ground or the chair. Having a moment to come all the way down to the feet and the toes. We often feel like we're spending most of our time up in our heads, really disconnected from this other pole of the body. Sometimes it can be hard to locate our toes and our feet in our awareness. You might even just want to give them a little bit of a wiggle. Just help get a sense of where they are. Expanding our awareness now just to see how much of the body we can take in. The physical sensations, any images or thoughts that are circulating in our minds at the moment. Anything we might label as a particular kind of emotional state. Without losing a sense of connection with ourselves, just see if we can include more of anything else coming in through our other senses. So we might hear any sounds around us. I can hear some sounds out in the street. I have a sense of the light coming in through our eyes, through our eyelids. Sense of the space of the room around us, even with our eyes closed. You can almost kind of feel the shape of the room around us. Just having an imaginative connection as well with everyone who's meditating with us this evening. So I've just looked, and there's 17 people, it says, tuned in with YouTube. So we've got over 20 of us practicing together right now. Even though we're not all in the same place, perhaps we can have a sense of connection with each other, supporting each other to meditate today. And finally, we'll just have a few moments, not trying to do anything at all, just sitting. What does that feel like? Okay, when you're ready, coming out of that meditation. Okay, we'll just go over to the live chat now just to say hello to whoever's joining us this evening. Great, so we've got Radiate from Port Talbot, hello, welcome. We've got Pam, hello Pam, and Ian, and Chris, Barrett from Tulse Hill, Sam, Perry, Stephanie Walker in Gypsy Hill, there's lots of hills around here. And we've also got Peter joining us as well. Great, so yeah, lovely to have you all here, and everyone else who's tuning in with YouTube now who hasn't used the chat, so yeah, welcome. Glad you could be with us today. Yeah, so we'll just do a little bit of, just a very brief little intro to Metta Bhavana in case we've got anyone tuning in who's completely new to the practice. You can also go and have a look on the YouTube channel for, I think we've got a few more resources on there now that I did a little while ago, kind of introducing the Metta Bhavana and leading you through it a little bit more. Yeah, just so you know, for anyone who's completely new tuning in, it's a practice to overcome hatred, to overcome challenging kind of views, perspectives, kind of emotions that we have. And metta loosely translates as loving kindness, and bhavana translates as the cultivation or development of. So it's a practice to develop loving kindness. And there's lots of different versions of these kind of meditations. I was talking to someone who uses the Headspace app the other day, and apparently there's all sorts. I've never been on Headspace, but apparently there's all sorts of kind of metta-based practices on there as well. The one we teach here tends to be in 5 stages, and in each stage we bring to mind a different person, really bring them alive, I guess, in our imagination, and then wishing them well. So in the first stage we have ourselves, then the second, a good friend, the third person, someone we know of but neither have a kind of really positive connection with them, nor feel kind of annoyed with them or anything at all. Just someone who's what we call the neutral person. So someone we know but know of, but neither feel that we like or dislike them. So maybe someone at a local shop or something like that, someone we don't know at work. And then in the fourth stage is traditionally called the enemy stage. It's someone we're having a bit of a difficult reaction to. And then finally, in the fifth stage, we start bringing to mind all 4 of these people: ourselves, the friend, someone, the neutral person, someone finding a bit difficult, and try and get a sense of kind of equalising that kind of sense of like well-wishing towards them. And then finally, as part of that fifth stage, we start extending out that sense of well-wishing and kindness to all beings, and there's lots of different ways we can do that. But eventually, we basically end up with all beings, human, non-human, throughout space and time. So it starts with us, and it finishes with the whole universe of which we are a part. So that's the kind of general arc of it. And in these 4 weeks, we've been exploring kind of different. I was going to say different ways in, but more kind of different aspects of the practice, I guess, that we wanted to that we thought might be quite helpful to bring out. Last week we were looking at gratitude, getting a sense of gratitude, reflecting on things we've benefited from people, as a way of more kind of like actively cultivating a sense of connection and kindness towards others. And this evening we're going to explore something I find particularly helpful. I think it's good to practice this approach that we'll get onto at any point, but it's particularly helpful when you feel you don't have you don't have so many resources, so many kind of internal resources. And it's sort of described by my friend Jana Bartra as almost a kind of self-surrender approach. So it's getting a sense that that love, metta, instead of it being something that's kind of like that we have to generate, it's like a kind of metta, like producing machine. I sometimes feel like almost trying to get metta going can feel a bit like, like those little wind-up toys or something that you kind of like, you go a few times and you set them off and they kind of go and then either fall over a table or just stop or something. So it can feel a little bit like that sometimes, this sense of trying to get metta going. And of course it kind of feels a bit limited, because if we feel a bit limited or under-resourced, we're just having a bit of a difficult time, it can feel like we've just got ourselves to rely on to get this kind of sense of connection and metta towards other people. But with this approach of what I'm going to call kind of surrendering, we're surrendering or opening up to, welcoming in. Love, metta, kindness is something that's actually just part of the universe. Yeah, it's just part of just how things really are, and we don't always feel like that's true. It might take a bit of an imaginative connection, but it can be a really helpful way of opening up in the practice. So one of the ways that we can do this is trying to have more of an imaginative connection with the Buddha, who started this whole practice anyway. So the Metta Bhavana is a very ancient practice taught by the Buddha 2,500 years ago. we can try and develop a sense of, well, what would it be like to be around someone who was really in touch, like completely in touch with things as they really are, and because of that was just sort of kind of infinitely compassionate. Yeah, they didn't have a sense of there's sort of metta with no limits there. It's sort of not dependent on anything else. So we can have a sense of sort of connecting with a kind of compassion of the Buddha, of what we call sort of enlightened other enlightened people. And I was just sort of thinking the other day, I was like, well, how would you how do you sort of get connected? If you're not Buddhist, because I can sort of access this to sort of some degree being a Buddhist. Well, how do you kind of, I don't know, kind of feel your way into that? And then it kind of dawned on me that, well, this practice is 2,500 years old. So that sort of shows something about the strength and like the kind of I wouldn't say the power of love, but the power of love to even get this practice to pass down through all those generations and across all these different continents. I was just looking at the news today, and if you're having a bit of a bad day, looking at the news isn't always a good idea anyway. And there's more stuff around like the ice caps melting and things like that, and and just go, oh my gosh, like maybe the world is actually ending. You can start going into a bit of a horrified anxiety and that kind of shutting down into like maybe I guess there's a bit of doubt, basically, maybe a bit of doubt about human beings and our kind of capacity to kind of connect with each other and not just kind of go inwards and cut off and I guess just act very selfishly. Just kind of just sort of got me thinking about, oh no, actually, look, if this practice, just the fact this practice has been passed down through all these generations, through a lot of conflict and all sorts of things going on, like this practice wouldn't have even been written down at the time, it was just done orally. That in itself has got to kind of show something about this kind of idea that, love is just, it's just actually part of, I quite like this idea of being like part of the fabric of reality, the fabric of the universe. And it's something that is available to us if we can kind of relax and open up to it. And I was trying to sort of think of other kind of things I think about when I, if I get a bit of doubt around capacity of human beings to turn towards love. And one of the things I don't know if other people have had this, but I've often been really inspired by stories of people who've gone through like really quite huge challenges in their lives. I get a newsletter from something called the prison, I think it's called the Phoenix, what's it called? Prison Phoenix Trust, something like that. But it's basically people who are in prison who've learned to meditate and do yoga, and of course they've gone through all sorts of different things and might have caused quite a lot of harm themselves in their lives. But it's really incredible hearing their stories of how kindness and the Dharma, it's not necessarily Buddhism, but yoga and the kind of sort of principles of kindness and mindfulness and ethics and all those things has had such an effect on them. So when I'm feeling particularly like, oh gosh, do I really believe that love is actually a part of like the fabric of the universe? Things like that kind of like really helped me, I guess, kind of question my own kind of cynicism or doubt about that being true. I guess everyone might have their own ways of accessing kindness when they feel like they ain't got nothing today. They haven't really got anything today. Yeah. Anyways, there's some of my things that I do. But in terms of a way in for a meditation practice tonight, I am going to draw a bit of inspiration from a friend of mine who's in one of the women's study groups. I won't name her because I didn't check in with her about it, but she was talking about going back to this sort of imagining ourselves in the kind of presence or in connection with someone who's enlightened, someone who's kind of infinitely compassionate. She often imagines herself being in a forest grove with the Buddha and a load of other people meditating. So I thought we could give that a go as a way of kind of setting up the metta bhavana practice. So we'll do the usual 5 stages. But at the beginning, I'm going to lead us in a little bit of a visualization of imagining that we're in a forest grove. It's not quite as hot as it would have been around this time, but you know, it's a warmish September evening. Well, imagine that we're in a forest grove, meditating in the presence of the Buddha, and in presence of a load of other people who are meditating as well. Imagine they're also doing this practice, and just see what happens. We'll just see what happens. Just to say something about visualization practice, you don't kind of really have to see anything. I know some people are really visual, so I'm quite visual and I can like really get into it, like, oh, there's the trees and stuff and whatever. But it's more about kind of getting a felt sense of a particular kind of atmosphere that we're in. So you might get that through different senses. It might be more through sounds or just how you feel in the body. So you don't actually have to like see anything, but just allow the words to just kind of wash over you as I do it, and see what happens. Yeah. Maybe I might just take a question if anyone's got any questions from in the room before I lead it. Any questions? We'll just give it a go. Yeah, cool. Oh, we've also got Alex B and Tom as well joining us on the chat. Great, so closing our eyes when we're ready. And connecting in with our bodies. Again, feeling the weight of our body drop into the cushion, the chair below. Noticing the sensations of the breath in the body. Just aware of the environment that we're in around us, any sounds and light coming through our other senses. Trying to stay connected with our bodies, so we're not just sort of going off into lots of thoughts and getting disconnected from ourselves. Just going to see if we can imagine being on the very edges of a clearing in a forest at night. Although it's dark in the forest around us, we feel safe. It's a full moon night, and the full moon is shining down into a clearing in front of us. That clearing is full of other people, very quietly meditating. They're all meditating sort of in a circle with layers and layers of people. And in the centre of that, just on a raised platform, it's a person that we've been told is the Buddha, the enlightened one. It doesn't matter what we think or feel about Buddhism or the Buddha. We just know that this person must be quite important to everyone else here if they're meditating with him at night. There's a real sense of calm and compassion coming from this person at the centre of the grove and from everyone meditating around them. What does it feel like to be in the presence of that boundless kindness and compassion? You might like to imagine yourself walking forward and just finding a place to sit down in the crowd. It's the world and our minds, we don't need to worry about COVID, so it's all fine to be in here together. It doesn't matter about the details, but we just know that everyone else around is here to practice this loving kindness meditation together. On this still and moonlit night. So in the first stage in Metta Bhavana, we're really allowing ourselves to open and receive that love, that kindness, that metta for ourselves. We can use the traditional phrases of may I be well, may I be happy, may I be free from suffering. And just imagining that those wishes are being fulfilled by this compassion coming from the Buddha and everyone else around us. And how does that feel now in your body, particularly around the heart area and the throat and the belly? Now bringing to mind a good friend. You might even like to imagine they're meditating close by in this forest grove with us. You might like to say their name to yourself in your mind. To spend a few moments, really bring them alive in your imagination. Noticing what it feels like to be aware of their presence and have them here with you. Instead of having any idea that we're having to send them metta or anything like that, we can just open up to the possibility of them also being able to have access to this love and compassion that's available all the time. So when we say the phrases, may they be well, may they be happy, may they be free from suffering. It's more that we're hoping that they can also open up and access this metta. And checking in again how you feel in the body right now. So now bring to mind someone to go in the neutral person stage, the third stage. Perhaps it's someone at work or someone you notice in your local shop. Again, you might just like to imagine that there's somewhere in the crowd near you meditating as well in this forest grove. Maybe just sat here. Again, we're just being aware of them, imagining that they also have access to kindness and compassion at any moment. If you notice your awareness sliding off of them and you're going off somewhere else, just first of all come back to your body, get a sense of yourself sat on the cushion or the chair. Spend a few moments just bringing to mind what it feels like being in this forest grove again. Imagining all these other people meditating around us on kindness. It's almost like that's a force in the air around us. We're breathing in. Again, bringing to mind the neutral person. And the fourth person, someone that we're having some difficulty with. Again, you might like to imagine them also in the crowd that we're with, in our imagination. Firstly, just noticing any reactions you might have to them when you bring them to mind. Where does that locate itself in your body? Is there any tightening around the chest, maybe, or the belly? Again, instead of you having to do anything for them, get a sense of generating metta for them. See how it feels different to just allow them to have access to love and kindness at any moment. Just present. So we're also able to access this atmosphere of being around the Buddha, someone who's boundlessly compassionate. Noticing how that feels in your body. What's your response to doing that? And finally, we'll get a sense of all four people. It's ourselves, our friend, the neutral person, and the person we're having some difficulty with. And just see if we can have a sense that we're all equally able to access this love and kindness around us. So the compassion of the Buddha, of enlightened beings, has got no limits. It's not about preferences or likes and dislikes, what someone has done or hasn't done. It's equally available to everyone. I'm going to start including more and more people within that boundless love. If it's been working for you with imagining being in this forest grove, you might just imagine that, just in the crowd around us, there's more and more people that we know. And from there, you can almost imagine that this boundless love and compassion radiates out from the Buddha, out through this forest grove and out into the world. And that its power and strength doesn't diminish through space and time, so it spreads out equally all across the world. Irrespective of gender and race, age, class, geography, all the different categories and boxes we put people in. And also out to all the non-human life, not just the animals we like and our pets, the other animals like the cows and the chickens and the pigs, the little creepy crawlies. Just imagine ourselves sat here, receiving that flow of kindness and compassion. If you've been doing this visualization, you can just imagine that just fading now. Staying connected with that sense of metta as being present around us. It's not something that's lost when the visualization fades. You could almost imagine that we're always meditating in that forest grove. We're just not always conscious of it. Get more of a sense of just being present in the room that you're in. People that we're meditating with. And finally, we'll have a few moments of not doing anything at all. Just sitting. And when you're ready, opening your eyes and wiggling around, giving yourself a stretch as you come out of your posture. Unfortunately, the iPad has died. It is an iPad, it's not as a tablet. I don't have an iPad. So I can't actually take any questions or comments from the chat function, but we'll make sure it's charged up for next week.
We've got a hi from Alex and Jill as well.
Excellent. Hey, Alex and Jill. Thanks, Jack. Yeah, so actually that's quite handy. If anyone who's online does have any questions or comments, I'll get Jack to assist in reading them out. So do go ahead and do read them out. Yes, just interested as to how you guys are doing. Daisy, Shell, and Elena as well. How did you find that practice? And just sort of curious to know if you guys have a sense in your own, I can say meditation practice, but also just in life maybe, of sometimes of like connecting with, I guess, a sense of metta that's kind of not just limited to ourselves, or a sense of contacting something that's kind of around us, or available to us. It might not feel like it's ours, if you see what I mean. Where do you go when you feel like there's nothing left in the tank, but you still don't want to yell at someone?
I guess good friends who can kind of give you their energy, maybe. And sometimes just a simple, someone just makes you laugh, or a small little gesture, and then that sort of gives you that energy back again.
Yeah, I had this before coming actually. I was just in the park. I've had a mare of a day. And when it just starts getting a little bit too much, I was just in the Brockwell Park and I was starting to get a little bit teary. It's like, I've got to go and lead a class in like 40 minutes. I don't know how I can do this. And I was trying to connect with the material, and I couldn't quite get like sort of sense of like the Buddha or like something big like that. But what I did get a sense of was a text I had from Daisy like a few weeks ago, being like, "You're one of the most resilient women I know." And I was just like walking back. I was like, okay, I'm going to do my deep breathing, because I know about the breathing thing. I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to remind myself of Daisy's message of like, and I was like, okay, I can do this, because all the little voices in my head were going like, you can't do this. You're just going to go and you're like going to cry through the whole thing, and you're not going to be able to do it. And but I was like, I was like really able to like access, like I couldn't access my own confidence in myself and my own kind of strength. I could access it through bring to mind kind of Daisy's confidence in me. So that one definitely works for me too. I know, Daisy was saying this today. Yeah, that's something quite tangible, isn't it? The sort of community and friends around us. We don't feel we've got it for ourselves.
Got a question from the chat room.
Yeah, go for it.
Sam asks, any tips for a daily practice, as I find it can fizzle out over time if I don't continue with classes?
Yeah. Tips for daily practice. I really struggle with this one. Conditions are really important. So working out, I think, what are the main conditions that kind of get in your way. So just even little things like having a place and a time dedicated to doing a meditation practice. I'm trying to tune into a few more online sessions myself at the moment. I'm finding just like connecting up with others can be really helpful. Maybe even doing something like taking on a 10-day meditation challenge and see how far you get with that. Buddy up with someone else as well. So I think, yeah, treat it like, we seem to treat like taking on like a meditation practice is somehow like totally different to like getting into any other habit, but it's the same, a lot of it's the same kind of psychology around it. Like you need to keep doing it regularly and work out what works for you. Star charts.
Give yourself a treat.
Walking meditation?
Yeah.
Yeah, walking meditation, Daisy's into walking meditation. And maybe set some realistic expectations for yourself as well. Maybe just trying to do it like 3 times a week or something like that, and be clear what days you're going to do it on. Walking meditation, yeah. So just weaving maybe more mindfulness into your day if you've got to walk regularly to somewhere. That can be quite helpful. Yeah. And just know that other people struggle, like I really do, and I teach, and I've got some friends who seem to be able to meditate every single day, like no fuss whatsoever. I personally find, particularly when I've been moving around a lot lately, and it's been a challenge. Know that you're not in it alone, and work out what will help you for your particular circumstance.
Maybe the Monday night Zoom classes as well, because that's a bit of accountability.
Yeah. Yes, that's a really good point. Jack mentioned about the Monday night Zoom classes. So after this, at 7:45, a couple of the 2 Alexes, Alex A and Alex B, are hosting the Zoom call, and that's for anyone who's online. The link to that will be below in the thingamajig. Yeah. And that's a great way to go in and talk about your practice and talk about what struggles you've got. And there's other people who are I'm sure will have a lot of other tips as well.
So that Zoom is tonight.
Yes.
But it's not related to this class.
It is. So, but we're not able to access it unless like you get home in like 15 minutes. It's one of the sort of things we're working out with the hyper classes. Yeah.
Because they used to be like more linked when everything was online, but I guess now I was wondering how are they going to do this? But I understand that it can't be.
Yeah. So the 2 Alexes that we've got people hosting it every session.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Good. Getting close to past, so I think we'll just sort of do final announcements. We'll probably start with the Dharma Pill actually. Let's do that. So every week, I think as sort of most people know, we do a few thank yous to everyone who's been helping support our classes. I've forgotten how much we try and raise every month.
Try and raise 2,000.
2,000. Somebody had it as 3,000. So we try and raise £2,000 every month to help us do everything that we're doing. The Dharma-ometer should be somewhere over here. So I think we've raised £1,007 so far for September. And a particular thank you to Stefan. We've got some Stevens and Stefans. I'm pretty sure it's Stefan who for a one-off donation. I think it's one-off donation. Thank you for helping us out with that. So do, if you can, please do donate. And again, the details for that will be in the chat function if you're online. So there's that. And then, we've got a few more things coming up. So we've got a new course, the Journey and the Guide, starting on Thursday, the 24th of September. You can find more details for that on the website. You can also check out the Facebook page as well, more details on that. And we have got our Wednesday night series starting again. So when all of this sort of stuff kicked off, it was too much to run the Monday and Wednesdays together. But we are starting the Wednesday night series. So they started last week. It's a series on rituals. So if you're at all interested in Buddhist ritual, whether you're totally new to it or a seasoned Buddhist and into ritual quite a bit, Amra Pushpa and Viranaga are leading those series, and that's going to be a really good series. Do tune into that. And they start at 7 o'clock actually, not 7:30, so they start a little bit earlier in the evening. And again, that'll be through the YouTube stream. Do get signed up to our newsletter as well, and that will keep you updated with other things that are happening coming up. We're definitely kind of ramping up things now. It feels like we've got through. I hope we've got through the woods. Feels like we've got through the woods with initial lockdown and everything. So the program's starting to expand out again. Great. So thank you to everyone for coming along. And do take care if you're joining on the YouTube stream tonight, and we'll catch you next week.